Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the hottest sports podcast in the South, the best damn sports podcast, period. This is. Yo, what is up? Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the show. Gonna dissect a lot of what happened last night in the Seahawks and Bears game. Had a Monday night game. It was terrible. We'll also get into some of the stuff this weekend. Look ahead to some of the college matchups, the NFL matchup, and maybe go back just a little bit. We also gonna talk a little real news, fake news. My segment, real news, fake news, is back for the first time this season. I also talk about Josh Gordon's impact on the Patriots, and of course, I just told you we're gonna look forward to the games this weekend. And joining me, the man need no introductions. He's back again. My man Tony Buck Thomas is in the house.
Thank you once again, cuz, for having me. You know it. Thank you once again.
Of course, man. We in here. No, I didn't want to start the program this way. But, I got to start the program. This is the way I got to start the program. And this just happened. So, y'all bear with me a little bit and let me get to my place that I need to be getting at real fast before I go off on my little diatribe because it's about to get ugly. This guy's name is Lynn Redden. He's the superintendent of the Own Alaska Independent School District in Huntsville, Texas. He's apparently a proud member of the Houston Texans fan base. But apparently he was fed up with Deshaun Watson's play on Sunday, which led him to say these words, and I quote, "That may have been the most inept quarterback decision I've seen in the NFL." Redden also went on Facebook and posted in support of the Houston Chronicle about the game. "When you need a precision decision making, you can't count on a black quarterback."
There you go.
And he comes on Facebook afterwards and says, now this is what he says immediately afterwards. "I didn't know it was public."
Yeah.
He didn't
know it was public.
He didn't know. He didn't apologize for what he said. He just didn't know it was public.
I wonder who he had it from.
You see people. This is why they protest. You see people, because no matter how much money you have, no matter how much fame and success you have, it does not matter. And that idiot, that's why I get on Jason Whitlock every week, because he comes on TV spewing this garbage about we don't have a racist problem in America. We got a classist problem in America. Meaning, rich black people don't have problems. It's just poor black people. Yeah. So it's just poor black people that have problems, not wealthy black people. And and to a certain degree, I guarantee you some of those NFL players and multimillionaires think they are absolved from all of this stuff because they got money. But this is a hard, rude awakening for some of you. This is an eye-opener. This kid right here has done everything you can ask of a young man. He graduated in 3 years. He took a team to the playoffs twice and won a national title, was a face of a college football team, the face of a community.
Beat Alabama.
And it's not immune from this right here. See, this is why they protest and put their fist in the air. This is why. And we're going to get to some football and sports in a minute. This takes precedence. We're going to get there. But I know this ain't a damn political show. But this kind of nonsense right here. And see, this goes back to the old way of thinking, because this is why black quarterbacks weren't drafted back in the day. Because they weren't smart enough to process information. So they could only play receiver and running back, defensive back. They weren't smart enough to play the quarterback position. So this is just the old way of thinking, and it just rears its ugly head. And to say I'm surprised, I would be lying, because I'm not. at all surprised. I keep trying to tell you people every freaking day. This is why the protest. This is why so much unrest is in this country, because people still think this way. And it's awful. When, again, this man, this guy, LeBron James got his house last year. This is the most popular athlete in all the sports. So it doesn't matter how much money you got. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you do. Because at the end of the day, you can't escape something. You can't escape something that just is there. This is horrible, man. And this guy's in charge of kids.
Yes, and that's another thing. It's not like everybody think it's guys who's racist, like guys who don't wear suits. You know, like I just in trailer park says this guy's over 1,130 students, 175 staffers that he is over. He's thinking like this. So if he's thinking like that, what do you imagine? I'm talking about teaching kids. So he's saying this guy is inept. This guy is not smart enough. That black quarterbacks is not smart enough. So if he's teaching black kids, then he's not gonna do his best because he don't think they smart enough. Totally wrong. And the thing about it is, that's what drives me crazy. It's got to be racist. You know how many quarterbacks have made that mistake? So yeah, Deshaun Watson ran around. He threw a pass instead of receiver got the ball. Time ran out. You know how often would you see a quarterback do that? But just because he's a black man, that's what all this come up at, and that's wrong. And like I hate. Well, I won't say hate. Hate is a very strong word, but Jason Whitlock, and I don't even watch. He's completely lost,
sold out. Because I got stuff. I ain't gonna get into all that, but I'm gonna keep on subject. I don't even want to talk about that. I could be here all night talking about that. But see, and then he gonna come out and say, well, he's not racist. He gonna give you the little PC stuff. But I'm gonna tell you how you know. Because see, he can't even look at him as a quarterback. Because if you have evolved to the point, he could just say he was a bad quarterback. I'd never seen that bad decision making from a quarterback. He could have just said that. But he said black because that's what he sees, a black quarterback. He don't just see a quarterback. Because if he did just saw him as a person, like we supposed to be moving on from this, but here we are, 50 years plus removed, and we still in the same, talking about the same thing. I know we have come a long way, but we still got so much further to come. But this thinking.
And like I said, he did not apologize. He tried to clean it up when he talked to the newspaper. He said, over the history of the NFL, they have had limited success.
Statistically.
Of course they have had limited success because they have had limited opportunity. Man, come on.
It's bad. It's brutal. And I mean, I if I had a Thursday show, you know what this guy would be. You know what this guy would be if I had a Thursday show this week. You know what he would be. The sucker of the week, easily, hands down. I just got a hold of this story like 3 hours ago, and I couldn't wait to get on here and rip this guy. But I'm wondering what they're gonna actually do with him, because again, this guy, and this is the thing that scares you, to really put fear in your heart. These people in charge have authority, and they think this way. They have this mentality out in public. Imagine what he's saying behind closed doors in his private Facebook. That he didn't mean to he didn't know it was public, which, not apology, but.
I wonder who his friends are.
He's in Texas. I'm sure Bob and now on speed dial. Who coincidentally is the owner of the Houston Texans. So I'm sure he was talking to Bob and now after the game. But anyway, this is a terrible way to start the program with this constant reminder over and over and over and over that we deal with this stuff. And it doesn't matter how much money you got. Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter who your parents are. No matter how you speak. No matter what you do. Some people will always have this mentality, and it will never change because they passing this stuff down generation. So it's always going to be somebody who thinks like this regardless of how far we get in the future.
And for the ones that always talking about, oh, now you're pulling the race card. Well, not the race card, guys. You stop saying it. You stop doing stupid things, then we won't have to deal with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's our fault. It's our fault. He just come out. I mean, like, it's our fault because he's a racist. No. It's my fault because he's a bigot. I'm sorry. He's a damn bigot. I'm sorry. He's racist. Because that's fact. That's fact. because he didn't see him as a quarterback. He saw him as a black quarterback. So
Yes.
that's the definition. I'm through talking about this damn
Yes.
bomb. I'm tired of talking about
We
this
gave him
bomb.
too much time anyway.
Too much out of time. But hey, we're gonna transition, and I mean literally transition in like half a second. Boom! We're going to one of my favorite segments that I love. You know, I haven't done it this year. I haven't broken out yet. It's called Real News, Fake News, and this is how it works. I make a blanket statement, and it's a statement with an exclamation point. And if you think it's real news, you give me the reason why you think it's true or it's real. And if it's fake news, you say, no, I don't agree with that. It's a lie and it's fake news. That's how this works. So you ready to play this game? And if you watching at home, I can see you right here. Comment. You can comment. You can answer if it's real news or fake news to you as well. That's what we do right here on the Best Down Sports Podcast, period. We try to involve you people, even though you don't like to be involved. I try to get you involved because I'm trying to get you in the right frame of mind. Because this is, this is what we do right here. All right, let's go. Because yesterday I put a poll question up, and it's kind of similar to this. And I asked other Jacksonville Jaguars, the team now to beat in the AFC, but I'll frame it this way. The Jags statement are the best team in the AFC right now.
Okay, the Jags being the best team in the AFC. Right now, as of today.
Real news, fake news.
It's real news. I think so. And we'll discuss the game going forward. But they got a game against Tennessee. You know, Tennessee swept them last year. And against the last 6 games. So we'll see.
Hey, you come with the stats. Hey, man. That's real news. I'm sorry. That's real news. I mean, I'm sorry. Every AFC team, if Blake Bortles going to play the way he played Sunday, because they can run the football. They can throw it. Now, Cam Robinson got hurt. He's out for the season. Left tackle. That is a huge blow. So I had already wrote these questions down. You know, the production meeting was already had. You know, Cam Robinson's out for the season. So that is a big blow. But right now, that is real news because defensively they can match up with anybody. And I never seen a defense do what they did to the Patriots last week in regards to guarding Rob Gronkowski. They did something I've never seen. They put a safety in the box, and a linebacker basically played a robber position in the middle of the field. It was unbelievable. Miles Jack must be one of the most athletic linebackers I've ever seen because he's actually in a robber position, running back in the middle of the field as Jalen Ramsey comes up to guard Rob Gronkowski. So, you know, if Blake Bortles is going to throw for 377, 4 TDs, clearly they're the best team in the AFC right now. Because I say right now. I didn't say right now. Right now. Now we're going to have to see what the Cam Robinson injury does to him. So that right now, that's real news. Jags, best team in the AFC right now. All right. On to college football with this one. The Georgia Bulldogs are the biggest threat to Alabama at the moment.
Yes, that is real news. And the reason that I say that because of that offensive line that Georgia have. But they're the only threat to Alabama, but I'm not saying
that's high praise. That's how I mean.
The offensive line with the running game, and they can just keep Alabama off the field because right now we talk about Alabama. We always used to talk about Alabama defense in the running game, but right now Alabama is looking very efficient on offense in the passing game. So, and then that's just a different level, and you know that defense is playing very well also. But Georgia probably right now about the only team I think can play with them.
I think that's real news, man. I look at Georgia right now because they got the balance offensively that can just give Alabama fits on defense. Alabama hasn't been tested yet, but you look at the game last year, Georgia ran the football against them. Alabama's replacing like 7 stars on defense and not what they are, but you know, they kind of Ole Miss, but I think Georgia presents a whole different pile of problems. That offensive line is just stout, man. They got some big boys, and man, they push you around. They impose their will. Defensively, I want to see them do some more. They haven't been tested yet against a really good offensive team. I mean, I know they did to South Carolina what they did to them, but I got to see them going forward. A big test this weekend for them against Missouri because offensively Missouri can do some things. So we'll find out more about their defense this week. But I think offensively they can get Alabama all they want and then some. I'm telling you, Clemson is struggling right now. And I'm telling you the main reason is because of this quarterback rotation. I don't care what nobody try to tell you. That is a factor in the locker room. If you think that ain't a factor in the locker room right now, switching out quarterbacks, you're a damn fool. Ohio State don't want no parts in either one of them two teams because we've seen that movie before. Yeah. Oklahoma don't want either one of them teams. You know, even though they played Georgia tough last year, but I think those are the 5 best teams in college football. But right now, Georgia is definitely the biggest threat. Then back to the NFL we go. Real news, fake news. This is a good one. Jameis Winston will never start another game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That real news or fake news?
Fake news. I know Fitz been doing it. He's been doing great. He plays great. We talked about this before. Yes, he do play great, but he don't have any expectations. He don't have any expectations. So right now he's just out there playing, knowing that when Jameson come back, he's going to be the starter. And I know everybody said, well, if he plays good this week, he's still on a roll. You gotta not pull him. You know, Fitz have to start 16 games that he think he's the starter. He start overthinking and he get himself in trouble.
I'm gonna say fake news as well, and I think it's gonna go a while. I think Fitz, because I think the Buccaneers are tired of Jameis Winston, and Fitz would have to basically play his way out of the position, which he's capable of doing. But right now he's been stout, but again, I told you expectations is what killed Ryan Fitzpatrick. There's no expectation of him whatsoever right now. He can play with house money, knowing if I screw up, hey, Jameis coming in and take the job. It doesn't matter what I do. I'm a backup. I'm getting backup money. I'm really a backup. Masquerade right now as a starting quarterback. So, I mean, he doesn't care. But I think Jameis will ultimately get some starts this year. But I think I don't think he comes back to Tampa.
Unless some of them veteran receivers, because I know Deshaun Jackson career is like starting over, like just going and he's getting the ball deep. You got Mike Evans, and then you got Utland who's coming on, and and they got DJ Howard, OJ Howard, not DJ Howard, OJ Howard. They loaded at tight end. They really got some weapons, and that's why he's really playing well because look who he's throwing to. He's trying to get you deep. Back shoulder with Evans, down the seam with OJ Howard, and Godwin is becoming a great possession receiver and big guy, and good guy. He came out of Penn State. He was good when he came out of Penn State. I know a lot of guys had him high on their draft board. I know a lot of people who wanted to get him as a receiver.
Absolutely, man. Just loaded. But I think it's fake news. I think Jameis end up getting several starts before the season over. But I do think this is Jameis' last season in Tampa, regardless, unless he just turns into Aaron Rodgers and just plays out of his mind, because they're gonna hit some rough spots here soon. Because
he turned the ball over.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is a backup quarterback. He's not a starter. This clock will strike 12 real soon. For you Buck fans,
gonna find
so you Buck fans, calm your nerve. I need you to calm down right now, because I'm telling y'all, set yourself up for a whole lot of failure. Ask Buffalo at the Jets. All right, last one. The Cincinnati Bengals will win the AFC North.
That's a difficult one.
Real news or fake news?
I can't trust them. I say fake news, but with a twist. Right now with the drama and the soap opera that's going on in Pittsburgh, that could, that's Pittsburgh turning around and get things together, bring Le'Veon back, and but Pittsburgh defense, isn't what it used to be. But I just don't trust Cincinnati. Like they're, when they go and play against Pittsburgh, they just find a way to lose. Pittsburgh always beat those teams in their division. So I say fake news.
I'm going fake news as well. And it's sad. I'm depressed because I still got the Steelers winning the division. Even though y'all know I hate the Steelers because they are the most overrated bunch of damn has-been clowns I've ever seen in my life. The days of our lives, every day is something. Antonio Brown is on on the ESPN ticker right now about another issue. So I'm just sick of the Steelers. But again, I can't trust Cincinnati and the Dolphins. I damn sure can't trust Joe Flacco and the Browns. Or the Browns. I mean,
it's got bad luck.
The Browns should be 2-0 right now.
Should be 2-0.
But a kicker. But Marvin Lewis, who's been here 14 years, ain't won a playoff game. Don't let me let that slide by you, because I will be back for you, because I've been saying for the last 5 years. I don't know why you still here. I don't know how you still here, but I don't trust the Bengals at all. So that's real news, fake news. I think my man Kiwi did it. I hadn't given his opinion. He hit on 3 of the 4. He went real news, fake news, fake news. So he didn't answer the last one, but he's a Jags fan, so of course he's going real news on that one. All right, again, let's quickly transition again. Now we're back. Let's go to last night's NFL game. Just a terrible damn football game. What a just inept football game. And I talked about it yesterday on the show. Offensive line play in this league is just horrendous right now. It's horrendous. And you know what? The Seahawks and Paul Allen should give Russell Wilson a stake in the franchise for what they have done to this man. This is a damn shame. No offensive line, no receivers, no running game whatsoever. Just absolutely pathetic. And Mitchell Trubisky was no better last night. The Bears won the game. I'm sorry. The Bears won the game 24-17. It was just a miserable game. Trubisky had 200 yards on 25 completions. 25 completions for 200 yards. And he threw 2 picks. He was horrible. Wilson had 22 of 36 for 226. 2 to 1 pick, but he was sacked 6 times. The story of the game to me was obviously Khalil Mack. Again. Beast. I mean,
beast mode. Khalil Mack is in beast mode. Seattle, like you said, the offensive line play in the NFL have been horrible. But I look at it, a lot of people miss a lot of things. Not a lot of practices. With the new NFL PA rules and everything, they did get where they're cutting down on practicing. And one of the most cohesive units that you need is the offensive line, because the offensive line cannot play as individuals. The offensive line got to play as a unit, and that's what you have been seeing. You have been seeing guys miss assignments. It comes to playing together, practicing together, and becoming one as a unit. I think that's one of the reasons that you see a horrible play on offensive line. And like you say, Seattle definitely. Offensive line is really, really pathetic, and they're going against my Cowboys this weekend. So I'm like, okay, I'm back. Like I told you,
DeMarcus Lawrence.
We're going. We had a horrible first game, but everything's looking great. We played against a horrible line against the Giants, and now we got another horrible line, and we got them hungry guys. That's why we're in camouflage. We got them bullets. That tank. We got that tank. He's coming.
Well, let me just say, anytime I get to talk about Khalil Mack and the Chicago Bears, that means I can ultimately talk about John Gruden and how dumb he is. Again, press conference Sunday after the loss to the Broncos.
What a dumb statement.
We definitely could have used a damn pass rush in that fourth quarter. I know a guy. What a dumbass decision that was. What a Raiders are a damn mess. Let's move on. We're going to college football Saturday, man. Not a lot of big games this week at all to me. I mean, you got maybe a handful of good games. And I'm looking at this thing right now. I see 2 ranked versus ranked matchups as I look at this thing right now. So just not a good slate. And it's been bad the last couple of weeks, but it's always exciting because it's college football. And we'll just start at the top. Alabama is hosting Texas A&M. Texas A&M, of course, played really, really well against Clemson a couple weeks ago in Kyle Field, so it kind of give people a sense that this might be a competitive game. I don't sense that. Alabama is rolling because Tua is giving them something that they've never ever had, man. And they've always had skill position guys, but they don't get the ball because the offense is not predicated on throwing the ball to those guys. Now you put a quarterback who can run those plays, who can go through his progression, who can absolutely just rocket the ball. I mean, they look like a machine right now. Any chance Texas A&M? I mean, the keys for Texas A&M. They got a
keys for Texas A&M. How prepared have Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Quarterback's got to play well, for Texas A&M. But it's a tall task, and then you come into Alabama, so it's a tall task for them to be ready. This is the first big game for Jimbo Fisher in the SEC. And Alabama, I think, is going to be ready. I think Alabama's going to be prepared, and defensive wise, I don't think Texas A&M are going to be able to stay with offense.
Absolutely not. And Jimbo did a good job against Clemson. Like I said, again, familiarity with Dabo, came up with a great scheme because Clemson back in, and I think Alabama back in is susceptible. But man, just offensively they could do so many things. Because I think if Clemson wasn't rotating quarterbacks, they probably would have won handily. Yeah. But Dabo playing to his fan base, so he got to do that because it's the political thing. But I just think Alabama right now, I gotta see it. I mean, because past they didn't have a lot of room for error because they played the way the quarterback played. The game was low score. Now they would beat bad teams. But when the offense was just so average, they could keep teams around.
It's finally at first
oh my God,
quarterbacks that was a pocket quarterback but couldn't run the ball. Could pass the ball decently. Then they had a running quarterback couldn't throw the ball. And all of a sudden now you got a quarterback who run the ball and throw the ball. And I know Saban is just loving that right now. And then you still they still got a solid running game. Now this guy's just throwing the ball all over the field. Then he can take off and run the football.
I mean, it's a machine right now. Let's go to the game I was looking. Okay, yeah, let's go to Georgia at Missouri. Number 2 team in the country, Georgia Bulldogs. We just talked about how explosive they were, but they get a test this week with Drew Lock and that Missouri offense. They got to go to Columbia. That's not an easy place to play. They're like out in the middle of nowhere. The stadium is like, I don't know. They just dumped it out there in the middle of Columbia, Missouri, and it's like there's nothing literally around the football field. So it's a tough place to play. And it's a 12 o'clock kick. So which would definitely benefit Missouri because that's Central Time. So, I mean, an early morning kick for Georgia. That may be Missouri's only hope because after halftime, I think after Georgia wakes up, it could be lights out.
And that's going to be the biggest thing, the big linemen from Georgia, that's pounding and hammering on Missouri's defensive line. And basically, I think they're going to keep Missouri's offense off the field, but they defense will get tested, so we're gonna see if Georgia is really the team ready for Alabama and compete with Alabama, because I think they could come out and make a statement starting off in the SEC like they did in South Carolina.
I do want to see Drew Lock against this Georgia defense. I mean, again, that early start kind of worried me. If I was a Georgia fan, that worried me. I'll always look at that. And it's in Missouri again. It's a Central Time start, so that's 11 o'clock in the morning. That is an early start time, so that could be a factor. But I think Georgia ultimately wins the game. They are really, really talented and really, really good so far. And last time they went to Columbia, they left the place on fire. So they came in, ate all the food out the refrigerator, and just kicked in the door and laid it down. So let's move on. Number 3, Clemson Tigers. They head out to Atlanta to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Kelly Bryant got banged up a little bit last week, and I don't know how much truth there is to that. But he came back in and played a couple of series, but Trevor Lawrence played a lot last week. I guess it's a Strub. I can't remember who they exactly played, but who? Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern. Yeah. Thank you. But this week Georgia Tech.
Georgia Southern. Like I told you earlier in the year when we first had one thing that I told you we're gonna guarantee a lock on is the head coach at Georgia Tech will not have his job after this year. I don't see Georgia Tech running the offense that they run, beating that defensive line the way that they can. I kind of feel sorry for a couple of those running backs and maybe the quarterback also in Georgia Tech. But it's in Georgia Tech, but I don't see Clemson losing this game.
Absolutely not. Brett Venables figured this offense out a long time ago. Clemson used to be susceptible to this offense back in the day, and Georgia Tech used to scare the death out of Clemson fans. I know Clemson fans used to be nervous as heck playing Georgia Tech, that option, and they were scared, they were nervous. Georgia Tech always played us tough, and lately it's been a wipeout because when you have talent like Clemson has, and then you have a coach like Brent Venables with smart players, because all of this is assignment football.
Yes.
And now once you put the athletes and the dogs that Clemson has, and they play keys in their assignment, this is a easy offense to slow down. Like once you get that part figured out with those talented guys, it's a wrap. There's nothing left to say. I think Clemson wins handily. Now,
and because they're playing into Clemson's strength. Clemson's weakness right now is the secondary, and so
they can't expose.
I don't see neither one of those quarterbacks. Georgia Tech can throw put up big running numbers against South Florida, but they can't.
Oh, let's move along. Georgia Tech. I think Paul Johnson should have been fired years ago myself too.
He will get it this year.
You think so? I
think so. I think he's done.
We shall see. Hey, by the way, lines are open. If you want to call in right now and talk about anything in the world of sports, you can right now. We're 864-378-5943, 864-378-5943 is right there on the bottom of the screen for you in bold letters, so in numbers. So if you want to call, man, feel free to call in right now. I'd like to hear from you guys. You want to go back to last weekend, talk about some of the stuff, or you want to head on over to this weekend, look forward, we can with that. A big matchup in the Pac-12 this week, undefeated teams. Stanford travels to Eugene, Oregon to take on the Ducks, both 3-0. Bryce Love didn't play last week, didn't look good the first week, had an okay second week. Justin Herbert for Oregon has been putting up some huge numbers. Kind of a power game against the finesse Oregon Ducks. So,
Oregon Ducks.
How do you see this matchup?
Are the Oregon Ducks back? Used to be, that's the question. Stanford been winning, but been impressive. It really have been that impressive. So, I know Stanford is ranked up there, number 7, and now Oregon is undefeated. But could they be back to the Oregon of old? And that's going to be the question. And I think it's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, I'm leaning more toward Oregon. I think offensively, Oregon can do some things. I think Stanford's limited offensively. Yes. If Bryce Love doesn't run the ball well, this offense is really kind of mediocre, and you can see it when the first game he didn't play well. They struggled in the opener against San Diego State.
Second game, I think he's just.
Yeah, he had 100. He had 100 yards, I believe, but it wasn't a explosive performance. He didn't play last week.
Last game, was it an injury?
It was undisclosed. It never
did say why.
So I'm looking at Mario Cristobal, who's the head coach who took over Willie Taggart, who's the head coach there. And Justin Herbert is really, really good. There's a lot of draft boards as a pro potential type quarterback. So I think Oregon gets this win up in Eugene, knocks off number 7 Stanford. That's how I see that one. Let's go over Notre Dame at Wake Forest. I know you're like, Wake Forest. David Clawson has done a great job at Wake Forest. And Notre Dame did not look that impressive last week against Vanderbilt after jumping out to a 16-0 lead and kind of hanging on for dear life.
Vanderbilt should have won there.
Actually, yeah, Vanderbilt had several chances in the red zone. Kyle Sharma missed some throws. But Notre Dame at Wake Forest. I think Notre Dame will win the game, but I like Dave Clawson when he does it. Wake Forest.
Oh yes, good those teams. Wake Forest, Duke, all those teams. Syracuse and AC. They're getting good coaching. This is a turn to getting athletes.
But it's time to take advantage of it because you look at ACC right now. ACC, you get Boston College or Syracuse or Wake Forest. Like those are the second, third best teams in the ACC right now. Yeah. Like the whole ACC, not just in Atlantic. That's a whole ACC because you look at Florida State is terrible, Georgia Tech is terrible. Louisville, I say Louisville. Yeah, Louisville. They terrible. Georgia Tech stinks. Duke is good, but they got an injured quarterback now, so I don't know how well they're gonna be playing. But they look good early in the season. And we know you don't even mention Miami around me. But hey, mention Miami, FAU and Miami. That's Bush Davis at FIU. So the former Miami coach taking on Miami this week. We will not waste our time talking about Miami. But I think the team who's been really impressive, really sneaky good game on this schedule is Mississippi State at Kentucky. I think Mississippi State has been probably the third most impressive, fourth most impressive team in the SEC because they went on the road and destroyed Kansas State. And Nick Fitzgerald has looked really, really good. You know what Kentucky did to Florida a couple of weeks ago. They 3-0. So I mean, Mississippi State going into Kentucky,
have an opportunity to make some noise. And Kentucky, like I said, we played Florida very. I mean, they beat Florida. You know what I'm saying? But it's Florida, and right now you gotta say
no hard feelings.
You gotta say it's Florida. So but like I said, Mississippi State been on a roll. They got really good athletes, and so I think Mississippi State go in Kentucky and win this game.
Nice. I think because I think Mississippi State, Kentucky beat Florida up front, and they just manhandle. But I think Mississippi State up front on both sides, especially defensively, they got some grown men, offensively and defensively. I think they'll be able to handle that physicality up front, and I definitely think they're better in the skill position than Kentucky. Other than Benny Snell, who's really good, you should watch him. He's one of the best running backs in the nation. He's really good. But I think Mississippi State goes in there and gets the win against Kentucky. So that is it for me for college football. I'm gonna transition and let my man Buck Thomas, let's lead our way into the NFL. So right after this quick break, we'll be talking about the NFL. So let's go.
Okay, back to the NFL. All right. So the first game we'll talk about is, like I said, Jacksonville and Tennessee. Since we started off in fake news, real news, fake news. We got Jacksonville versus Tennessee. I already put those numbers out there for you. It's a divisional game, and like I said, in the last 6 games, Tennessee is 4-2 against Jacksonville, and they swept Jacksonville last year. When Jacksonville, made it to the playoffs, made a good run. So right now, I don't know. We don't know if Mariota is going to play or not. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think it's going to be a key game because Jacksonville got to say, hey, Tennessee been owning us. They swept them last year. And they split the last 2 years from that. So they're 4-2. They're 2-4 against Tennessee. So I want to see this game. I want to see this Jacksonville. We know their defense is for real. Now is Blake Bortles real? Can he stay consistent enough and play good football to get Jacksonville over the hump to being the best team and continue to be the best team in the
NFC? Let me just say this. About you talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars lost the last 4 out of 6 against the Tennessee Titans. Let me say this: this ain't your daddy's Jacksonville Jaguars.
it's not for too much different from last year. And they got swept last year. A close game and then a blowout game. And
it's a lot to be said for confidence right now, and they're riding high. And if you don't know what Mariota gonna do, and guess what? They're like hidden little storyline in here because if Marcus Mariota doesn't play, guess who starts for the Tennessee Titans? Blame Gabbert, not Blaine. Blame Gabbert gets to start, and that would be intriguing. I mean, coming back to the place where he got drafted at. But I just think Jacksonville is riding high. Tennessee doesn't have no playmaker on the outside to threaten them. But again, how do you handle prosperity, Blake Bortles? How do you handle everybody patting you on the back all week, saying how great you are, how you outplayed Tom Brady all week? How do you handle prosperity, Jacksonville? How do you should beat this team like a drum? How do you respond to everybody patting you on the back all week long because you just knocked out the Patriots and you look like the team that is destined to win this AFC? So how do you respond to prosperity? I think Jacksonville does it, especially if Marcus Mariota doesn't play, because if they put Blame Gabbert out there against this defense.
Yeah, I'm choosing Jacksonville too, but I just wanted to put that out there, So it wouldn't be a surprise because they've been having the familiarity of it. So now success. You can be successful to be able to go in. Blake Bortles gonna have to play well. Don't make any mistakes.
Go ahead.
Okay, then the next game we want to look at is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Interesting.
Very interesting game. And Pittsburgh back in, their secondary. And that's the bottom line. That's why a lot of people don't not realize that their secondary is horrible. And so now you got Tampa Fitz going in there who's
hot.
Tampa Bay defense is not, that shabby. They play good, solid defense. But now will Fitz baby put up numbers, but I can see Fitz throwing the ball 30 to 40 times. But if Ben Roethlisberger have to continue to drop back and throw the ball 60-something times a game, that's not going to help Pittsburgh. I don't care who they have. AB, whoever, if he's dropping back that many times, that many opportunities.
Well, the question for me is, if not when, if not now, when, Pittsburgh? When? Because if you lose this game, you are theoretically 0-3. And you're not making the playoffs if you're 0-3. Because I don't know, it says 0-1-1, but if you lose this game to me, you're 0-3 because you tied with the Browns. So that's a loss to me when you was up 21-7 like 5 minutes ago and you blow a lead like that. So if not now, when? This is interesting, I mean, because Pat Mahomes just lit up this defense, and Tampa had the same similar weapons that Patrick Mahomes had last week.
Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, you got Mike Evans and O.J. Howard and Chris Goodwin.
And Pittsburgh, you go back and you watch Pittsburgh's defense, tight ends eat Pittsburgh bunch.
Because they have nothing in the middle. They have nothing at safety. They have nothing. Since Troy Polamalu was in his prime, this defense has been god-awful, and we have saw it erode. They put all their money on offensive side of the ball, which is fine. You have to draft well. They haven't drafted well. You can't tell me the last great defensive Steeler player yet. I mean, I think old boy might be on his way. The middle linebacker, Ryan Shazier, might have been on his way, but now he's probably done with football. T.J. Watt is a decent player, but I mean, overall, the secondary has been horrible for years. I mean, they have been bad since Ike Taylor left out the door. He's been gone a minute, but I mean, that just shows bad on the GM. Bad on Mike Tomlin. Big Ben's declining. I told you people last year he was falling off, but they don't win this week. If they don't win this week, then I'm gonna start seriously saying they're not gonna win this division. And, I gotta still win this division because I can't trust any other teams. But if they go down there to Tampa and get housed and give up like 40, like they gave up to Kansas City, it's gonna be a lot of news coming out of Pittsburgh the next day. News, yeah. Somebody's going to be on the hot seat.
Somebody be on the hot seat. And then this transitioning from Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay, now you got Cincinnati and Carolina. Now we talk about division. This is an opportunity for the NFC South to help. He get help. They're looking at Tampa Bay, and Carolina is playing Cincinnati. So this is an opportunity right now. And then Carolina is banged up. They do not have a receiving threat. The best receiving threat they got is a tight end, and he's not playing. He's out. So now Cincinnati have a chance to go in there. They were going in there. Marvin Lewis has said, okay, we're finna try to get a handle on this AFC North by going in here and beating Carolina. And then you got to look at Carolina. You got to win. Tampa Bay keep playing the way they playing. You got Atlanta's gonna come on, New Orleans coming on. So right now, Carolina, you need a win at home. But the question is, over this AFC North.
Again, this is one of those situations when you expect something out of these people, they don't give you what you expect. Bengals been playing well, and we expect them to continue to play well. This is the game where they're going to roll and lay a complete egg. Just go on the road, Andy Dalton throw 3 interceptions, and you'd be like, why did I trust the damn Bengals? They're bongles. This is what they are. But Carolina is so banged up. And again, a shame on their GM as well. This offensive line is pathetic. No real true receiving threat at all. The only thing you really have is CMC. That's all you really have. And Greg Olsen is banged up. And they ask a lot of Cam, which, it's Cam. He can handle a lot, but they don't have a running game right now, and you have no receivers to speak of. But you know what? If I had to bet money, I would still bet money with Carolina because I don't trust Cincinnati.
I think, Joe Mixon, I think he's
out.
He's out. So that's one thing. I hate to see that because I think he was really playing well.
Coming on.
It was coming on, and I want to see what he would be able to do as a running back.
Yeah, I like Joe Mixon. I got him in my fantasy league. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I drafted you early in the fantasy draft. You get hurt. Wish you for a speedy recovery. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, and then the New Orleans Atlanta game. Right now, New Orleans always starts slow. I don't understand that, but they always start slow. And now Atlanta, they get their mojo back. Are they back? In New Orleans, once again, New Orleans, I don't think this year you get behind like you did before, and then just run off wins. But Drew Brees, he's there. He still got Mike Thomas, at the receiver. Now Atlanta look like they got Ridley into. Why they drafted him and why he was one of the top receivers coming out of college.
I look at it. New Orleans. I mean, the NFC South. I call it probably the best division in football, and that's before I thought what Tampa was doing. And I left New Orleans out of my playoff because I thought 2 teams would get in from the South and 2 teams would get in from the North. So I left New Orleans out. And quite frankly, they should have lost last week and be 0-2. They only had 275 yards of offense last week. They missed Mark Ingram. They can't run the football now. You got Kamara, but he's not more of an in-between tackle guy over and over again. So they really miss Mark Ingram right now because they can't run the football. But you know what Drew Brees represent. Atlanta is hurting in the secondary with Keanu O'Neal out. Now Deion Jones at linebacker out. So, but Matt Ryan, and I kind of called this. I thought he would play well. I picked him to beat Carolina last week because that's who he is. He's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's up, he's down, he's up, he's down. He was due for a good game last week. I wouldn't bet a penny on him this week to play well. But yes. I'm gonna go Atlanta at home in that Mercedes-Benz Dome.
Yeah, I think so. Like I say, New Orleans always starts slow for some reason, and I think Atlanta, know that can really win this division because if they do lose and then Tampa Bay win again, early in the season, but Tampa Bay could go on a roll from there.
Yeah. This division is tough. You don't want to give up any games, especially at home, because it's gonna be tough to go and win at the other team's place.
Especially within the division.
That's what happened to Carolina last week. They went to Atlanta won. So I expect Atlanta to win this game because you want to keep home field. You want to win on your field in these division matchups.
Yeah, Atlanta got a loss in the conference division, but in the conference, so then also it'll be losses. The next game, a lot of interest for me is the Philadelphia-Indianapolis game. Wentz is back.
Carson Wentz. Pennsylvania
coming back. So he's coming back, but he is coming off knee injury. So this is the time to see what, what is he ready? Is he ready? He missed a lot of football. And coming back off this injury, so now he's playing against Indianapolis, coach. I don't know that Indianapolis, they did win last week. Andrew Luck, he completely back. I don't know, but the biggest reason I think Philly's gonna win this game, but the biggest thing is Wentz. See what he does and what he brings, and do he lift Philadelphia up to start playing better football.
I mean, obviously, getting Wentz back is a huge deal. I think even another big deal would be getting Alshon Jeffries back. Yes. I think the passing game is struggling right now because they can only really go underneath, with Aguilar and Zach Ertz, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. But Wentz should give him a spark. I don't know how well he'll play, but I think this is a perfect opportunity to throw him in there against a poorest Indianapolis coach defense. This defense, you can't name a player on this defense. Malik Hooker, I think maybe he missed like most of the season last year. So this defense is dreadful. I want to see Andrew Luck a little bit more because they beat Washington last week. He didn't play particularly well, but Washington just stink. Check down, Alex. Yeah. But two young quarterbacks coming off injuries, battling their way back. Man, I thought Andrew Luck would be just has dominated the league, but the GM again failed him miserably. But looking forward to seeing Pennsylvania back, the league MVP before he got hurt last year. 6'5" can get it, can do it all, run, throw it. You said it 2 times a year, so
I said it 2 times a year.
I got Eagles. I think it was a perfect time to put him back in there.
I think, and that's one of the reasons that loss. Then they're coming back. It was a perfect time to put him back in the game. But like I said, I'm going to Philadelphia in this game, but the interest in the quarterback position. Then the next game, I want to see it's going to be, will it be a shootout? is that Los Angeles Chargers against the Los Rams. Both LA teams, and will the Chargers be able to go against this stout defense? I think the Rams defense really going to get challenged this week, and I think they could let us know, are they the best team in the NFC?
Which a lot of people are saying, and not for anything. I picked the Chargers to win the NFC. I need to see more from them. They beat Buffalo. Everybody's gonna beat Buffalo. Buffalo is god awful, but that first week kind of scared me. They got Pat Mahomes lit them up, and I'm just shaking my head. We know what the Rams represent. I don't have any questions about the Rams. The only thing I worry about is injuries for them. As long as they're healthy, they're gonna be what they're gonna do. What I expect them to do. But this is more about the Chargers for me. Yes. Again, I picked them to win the AFC. I felt very confident in picking them to win the AFC. So I need to see them in basically a home game.
And see what Philip Rivers, what Philip can do. So that's the thing about it.
Can you run the football against the run? That's gonna be the key. Can Melvin go and get some room? Because if you have to step back and throw it 40 times against this defense, that is not the recipe. So can Melvin go and the Ackler kid, the backup running back, can they get it going on the ground? Because if you try to throw it 40 times against this defense, Philip asking for trouble because he's gonna throw a lot of picks if you throw it 40 times. Yeah, Marcus Peters, they got dudes, man, dudes. But I ain't gonna make a pick. I mean, I ain't gonna make a pick in this game. If I had to make a pick, I'd pick the Rams. I'm just kind of giving some observations.
Rams, like I say, stay at home, but I think I'll go with the Rams in this game also because I think they are that team, and the running game that they do have, and with the defense that they do have, I'll go with the Rams. It's gonna be very interesting, so like you say, because the Chargers, can put up points.
Yeah, they can, but against this defense, I worry. But it gonna show me a lot. If they can go out there compete, they don't have to necessarily win the game, but just show up, play them tough, one possession type game. I will feel a whole lot better about my pick. But if they go out there and get drugged, or they got drugged against Kansas City, I'm gonna be off this man. I'm gonna be off this thing. I'm running off if they get blown out because you gotta compete with these kind of teams.
You gotta compete with
if you're gonna win the AFC.
And I guess the last game, and not least, is the Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks. We're going up into Seattle, and the Cowboys going. Right now, defensive wise, I know a lot of people say you haven't played against great offensive lines. So guess what? We're not playing against another great offensive line, and I just love what our defense is doing. And a lot of people, think that I'm looking at scheme wise. This is not the Dallas. Setback playoff. We had a linebacker that got a sack. Wilson got a sack. We had a safety got a sack, and we had a corner got a sack. We had 6 sacks. We were blitzing more. We blitzed more this year than I have seen in a while. Kind of laid back against Carolina, but last week, not even talk about the offense. The offense still looked dreadful to me. Zeke may be getting into it. But it did look dreadful. But one of the things we did do on offense, we ran Dak a little bit. The option, and so gave him the option, to either hand the ball off or take off with it. But playing against the Seahawks, like you said, and so the only reason I said for Dallas, opportunity for us to take a step up and play, which is the NFC. Try to keep up with Philly. So we go head to head.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know what to thought. I mean, I see this game low scoring as I possibly can get because both these offenses are really they're not explosive at all. I think Seattle's smart enough to know to load the box up, take away the Zeke. I don't know what the corners are like anymore.
They don't have the corners.
They got Earl Thomas still roaming around back there. He can do some things. The Griffin kid is okay at one corner. Offensively, though, because that has really improved defensively. I thought they can, stop the run. But 0-2 Seattle, desperate team at home, 12th man. You really need to win. You can't go 0-3. If you have thoughts, which I don't think they make it, I think they're not a good team. But if you have thoughts of going to the playoff, you can't go 0-3. So I would probably bet with the Seattle Seahawks, but I would not be surprised if the Cowboys win this game. It's going to be really low scoring. I mean, you think Sunday night was something 20-13 Giants. You think that was low scoring. This is going to be even low. This might be 17-13. This is how anemic these both offenses are. I know Dak did some good things, but 160 yards passing is just not going to get it done. I am sorry. And he had 60 yards, 60 plus on one play. So the rest of the game, he threw for 100 yards for 3 quarters. So you can do the math on that, and I can do the math on that and figure that out. So, I mean, and I like them defensively, but they got to find some players on the outside, and the offensive line got to get right so they can start being what they want to be, which is a power run team and a play action team.
Yeah, man, that's, got another game, any games that you interest you?
That's fine.
New England's coming, playing against Detroit, which is god awful, in Detroit. This is an opportunity for Detroit to get on the
0-2.
0-2, but in New England, one thing about New England against Jacksonville, I thought the defense in the first game, I thought New England's defense had improved. Oh, exposed them.
Exposed.
So I'm like, yeah, they don't have receivers and everything, but that was one of the biggest surprises. I mean, those 277 yards against. So in Detroit, this was god awful, but they're playing at home, so with New England a little bit more.
And that's a great segue. You should be on TV because we're gonna talk about Josh Gordon's impact right after this quickly. Yeah, let's talk about Josh Gordon's impact on this team. I mean, I told I said I don't think even with Josh Gordon, I don't think the Patriots going to the Super Bowl again. But they were asking entirely too much of Tom Brady. They had no receivers. They only had Gronk, Edelman's out. They didn't cut everybody who came into camp. They can't run the football. The offensive line is overturned a little bit. Nate Solder's gone. Isaiah Wynn got hurt in training camp. Defensively, they have no pass rush whatsoever. Eric Rowe is god-awful. We can see why Nick Foles exposed him last year because Kenneth Cole was just dogging him all day on Sunday. So the Patriots are a freaking mess right now, but I think Josh Gordon will alleviate some of this pressure on Tom Brady and open up the field for Gronkowski and Chris Hogan, who's really a number 3 or 4. He's not a number 2 at all. Now you get Josh going with a Rob Gronkowski if his head is right. Obviously, I think they're gonna still win the division. I mean, Buffalo is horrible. The Dolphins are playing okay.
Yeah, Dolphins are playing.
And
okay.
The Jets got a rookie quarterback, so I mean they can win the division.
They can win the division. That's it's 2 teams that over in the AFC. Except we win a division every year. That's the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when you talk about the Miami Dolphins, the new Buffalo Bills, and the New York Jets, and you talk about the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh and division every year. I'm sorry, but Josh Gordon, that's going to be very interesting. Belichick have did it again. He went and plucked Josh Gordon. Fifth round pick. He also have I know he had a hamstring still lingering with that hamstring injury, so I don't know what his availability is going to be for this week. But like I say, now
true number one. He's number one.
He's true number 1 receiver, so Brady definitely have a big target. And if he played just before mentioning everything. Big pickup for New England, and like I say, that division, it just makes them being able to win a division. But now will they be able to win the conference, AFC? So that's going to be the big thing. But I think it was a great pickup, surprising. That Cleveland, all of a sudden just cut ties with them, and so there, and then so I don't know what Dez is asking for because I think that was a good pickup for them also. So who knows?
Great pickup. Again, Patriots ahead of everybody else. I mean, for a 5th round pick, why not take a shot? I mean, yes. You still going to win the division if you didn't have Josh Gordon or not. But you think about if Josh Gordon can be anything, resemble anything, previous suspensions with Edelman and Gronk, now you got some to work with because typically Brady doesn't need a run game, but he needs some receivers, and they don't have any that's any good. I mean, when you're looking for Dorsett, Philip Dorsett is your go-to guy, you are in a world of damn trouble. And I'm sure Belichick on that sideline going, We throw the ball third down, and Philip Dorsett. This is what we go. This is what we reduced to.
Reduced to.
This is what we reduced to. So it's like, hell nah, we ain't going like that. But we should see going forward if that moves him into the upper echelon of the AFC.
But Edelman suspended for 4 games.
Yes,
he should be back to 5th game. So hopefully by that time, maybe 2 games up under the belt, and with practice and everything, that his mesh with Edelman, Gronk, and Josh Gordon. So
get up to speed. You think he'd be up to speed by then? Hey, you know what this is, man. Welcome if you just tuning in to Sentell, the hottest sports podcast in the South, the best damn sports podcast, period. You know who I am, the sensational Sentell Whiteman. I'm joined by my man, Tony Buck Thomas. We done hit on a few things today. Real news, fake news, one of my favorite segments. We talked about the Deshaun Watson stuff earlier. If you have any thoughts and comments on that, you can either leave your comment down here on the screen, or you can call in at 864-378-5943. Just went over some of the biggest games of the weekend for the NFL, gave our thoughts and some predictions on some of them. But get in before we got here. We got a few minutes left. We're going to get out of here. And we're going to sit here and banter for just a few seconds. Hopefully get a call or two. If not,
call in.
I will see you, next Tuesday. We're going to start calling that Take It Back Tuesday. When I come in on my first day of the show for a Tuesday, we're going to call it Take It Back Tuesday. Basically, we're going to go back, rewind what happened Saturday, what happened Sunday, and what happened on Monday Night Football. We break all that down. It's not Overreaction Monday, but it's Take It Back Tuesday. So if you don't call in, if you don't text me right now, you won't see my face until next Tuesday night, probably at 8 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. But the number is, the number, 864-378-5943. Had a big fight this past weekend. I don't know if you was interested in that. Triple G and Canelo. I thought it was a really good fight.
Yes, and didn't get an opportunity to watch it. I saw some highlights and read some of the things about it, and listened to some of the commentators. And Alvarez, took the decision. A lot of people Triple G won it, but a lot of people think it went pretty even because a lot of people thought Triple G would come forward a little bit more, which did not. So
yeah, I think he's diminishing a little bit. He's a little older. Canelo's still kind of in his prime. Triple G is getting a little older, so I think his better days are behind him. Any thoughts on a potential Mayweather-Pacquiao fight that's been floated around, the idea?
You say he's going to do it in 2018, but I heard to do it because
December
is coming and going. Gonna watch it. Money Mayweather's fight, great entertainment. So it's gonna be very interesting. Keep his legacy intact, and if he do lose,
I think Mayweather know he got this in the bag because Pacquiao's skill has diminished so greatly. Man, Mayweather was laughing and joking as they were talking about this fight. Like, he does not see Pacquiao as any kind of threat. Pacquiao has no chance in this fight. Mayweather knows that. So they're going to make a bunch of money. Floyd knows he's going to win the fight, and they make a bunch of money. So
yeah, that's the biggest thing. One thing about Floyd, technician, and he comes prepared. He comes in shape. That's one thing everybody miss about Floyd. He comes in shape, and one biggest thing, and Pacquiao the same way. But one thing about Floyd, he's feeding his family to come. Look for his legacy to stay intact.
Absolutely. Well, no phone calls again. It's okay. I'm not personally offended by no phone calls, no comments. I'm not at all, because I'm going to be here doing what I love to do. Regardless, I'll be here again next week, next Tuesday night. I told you Take It Back Tuesday. I'm going to give my man the final words. Any final word before we get out of here?
Well, I'm going to throw a plug in, for the listeners out there. October the 5th, the Cannon Falls Blue Flashes alumni tailgate party. We had a wonderful time last year. It starts at 3 p.m. Come out. We'll have tents out there. We'll be cooking. And we're going to be enjoying ourselves, getting to see a lot of old faces. And a lot of people are saying they're coming from out of town. A lot of people say they're going to be there. The football game is at 7 also. So just come out and support. We're doing it to supporting the school. If you don't have and haven't ordered a T-shirt, hit Wendy McDuffie up. Go ahead and get your order in. I think they do the 20th. Just do the 20th. Okay, so go ahead and get the shirt. That proceeds definitely going to go back to the school. So just come on out and have a good time on that day up at the school, up at Cannon Falls High. and we will be eating, having fun, and getting to see a lot of people that you haven't seen in a while.
I cannot wait. It was a blast last year doing it the first time. You know, we broadcasted out there. It was a new experience, but I'll be there. 5 to 7. I will be there. Interviews, you know, great conversation, reminiscing about old times at my alma mater as well as his alma mater. So cannot wait. October 5th, Cal Falls McCormick, Alumni Day for all the old school, old timers out there. So it will be great to see you guys out there. So until next week, I am the sensational Sentell Whiteman. This has been Tony Buck Thomas. I will see you next week. I am out.